Now this is the iQOO Z6 Pro 5G. Now you might be confused. iQOO Z3, Z5, Z6, Z6 Pro. Well, we'll explain it. And this could be an actually really good phone under 25,000. And could also be better than OnePlus Nord or Nord CE series to be specific. And thank you, I'm happy. It's a big box. You get the phone, case, few paperwork, and the charger, which is very important. It's actually an 80-watt charger, but the phone itself supports 66 watt. On a serious note, comment how much water you think is enough for a smartphone charger. Okay, you have a USB-A to Type-C cable, budget SIM ejector tool. Now, one very interesting thing in the phone is this camera module. See, we'll get to it in a moment, but you have the power button on the left, volume rocker just over the top, dual SIM card slot and no micro SD card expansion, Type-C port and a single speaker. On top, secondary noise cancellation mic. Did we miss something? Nope. There's no headphone jack. Flagship experience. Now you get a plastic bag, but hold on. What do you think? Is this plastic or glass?
Glass.
And I'm not kidding. I was fooled. I had to scratch it to know it's plastic. But yes, the camera module. Now this is a very good psychological trick. It makes you feel that the camera is big. So what do you think about this camera module?
It's a bit different. I think it's something new, it's something different, something refreshing. If you see, camera ring is so big, but the lens is not so big. Rest all is black space if you see closely. And the second ring looks unique. But let me see if this new design has adding something to the camera wobble. Put it here and press it here. Okay, so no wobble. But if you do it like this, yeah, it has a bit of wobble on the topper end, but not here. Overall, I found it's quirky and unique, but I like it.
Now the display is 6.44 inch 90Hz 1080p AMOLED. The phone feels compact and like close to one-handed. Personal opinion, I feel unless you are gaming, it's very hard to distinguish between a 90Hz and 120Hz display. Also, you have wideband L1 support on Netflix and Prime Video. You can watch HDR videos on YouTube. And also, we checked in bright light. The display is well visible and it goes up to 1300 nits peak brightness. And the display looks really bright, colorful, and even the colors from the viewing angles are pretty good. Overall, it's a really good display for the price. One interesting thing that I noticed, you have a single speaker and hear it. And now, if I press the volume up button for a long time, it enters 150% volume. Like it's kind of a volume booster mode. And now listen to the same thing in 150%. 150% volume. And it's actually damn loud in the 150% volume mode. Now, of course, stereo speakers offer better experience and it's a single speaker. Now you also have an in-display fingerprint scanner and the speed is same as any in-display fingerprint scanner. And you have a dot notch display. I mean, it's not as big as dewdrop notch, but it's neither a punch hole. But even after a day, you stop noticing it. Now, the most important focus on any iQOO phone is performance. Here you get Snapdragon 778G, 6GB LPDDR4X RAM, 128GB UFS 2.2 storage. Now I'll show you the benchmarks. It scores around 5,44,152 on Antutu, which is a really good score for this chip. And in CPU throttling, there's like little to no throttling at all, 94%, and it's good performance. But how about in real life and in BGMI? So you can play at smooth, extreme or 60 FPS and you can go maximum to ultra 40 FPS on HDR graphics, but we'll try out at extreme FPS. You also have a FPS counter over here. One more thing, all of the iQOO phones has this 4D game vibration. So this 4D game vibration has an extra haptic motor which kind of vibrates when you fire, see? So as you can see, we are continuously having 58 to 60 FPS. The performance was really good for smooth graphics and there's also not much heat because iQOO has this big vapor cooling liquid chamber. So overall, the gameplay in first impression seems really good. Now the deal is, in 2022, no new processors have launched in this entire 20,000 to 25,000 range due to chip shortage. And in that case, Snapdragon 778G is a really good and a stable 5G processor for this year, and you might see it in a lot of phones at different price. Now, camera is where I'm really excited to see the results. You get a 64 megapixel main sensor. I really like the colors in the image. Like, I did not expect this, but it looks close to real life. Like, I could see exactly Manu and this bullet, the same color I could see in real life. However, at times it tries to brighten up Manu's face, as you can see in this image, and it also does a bit with my skin as well. So it looks kind of like that halo on the face. You also get an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, which is like an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. In good daylight conditions, the photos come out good. It's a bit more saturated than the main sensor, but overall I liked the colors in the photo. It looks eye pleasing. Now you have a 16 megapixel selfie camera, which is a Samsung sensor. And I really liked the front camera photos. Like, the skin tone from the front selfie camera was on point. And here, have a look at this image. Like, I'm trying to shoot against a bright sunlight on the window. And once the photo is processed, you can see the wall in the background. And just a small suggestion to iQOO, like whenever you switch to the front camera, it automatically goes to the portrait mode. And by default, the blur is set to 16, which is like no blur. And you cannot even change that in the post. So just make sure when you switch it to portrait mode, like the blur is on like 5 or 4 so that you actually get a portrait photo. And you can record up to 4K 30 FPS video with electronic stabilization, EIS. And you can record up to 1080p 30 FPS on the front camera, and there is sunlight coming from behind, so you can also have an idea of how good their dynamic range is. And also the mic quality, it's quite windy out here, but it feels nice in summer. And now the software is where all comparison between OnePlus and iQOO starts. So first of all, iQOO comes with Android 12 right out of the box. It is FunTouch OS 12, and you get a bit of bloatware which can be uninstalled. Hot games and hot apps as well, so you can go to settings, hot apps and hot games, turn off. And I noticed these things come up while setting up the phone, so if you carefully uncheck at that time, you won't even notice inside the phone. Now, the only thing that keeps me away from recommending iQOO to a OnePlus user is software. And you would be like, Prateek, I knew it. It is FunTouch OS 12. Well, no. Both Oxygen OS 12 and FunTouch OS 12 don't look like stock Android 12, and that's not the case. See, FunTouch OS 12 has the same notification shade. If you swipe down, if you go left, it's the Google feed. Also, you have all the Android 12 features like mic and camera indicator when an app uses it. So the thing is, Android 12 has this Material You theme, and you can also change color based on the wallpaper colors. This option is also there in FunTouch OS 12. Well, this option is not even present in OnePlus phones, if you see here. So the main reason is bootloader unlocking. So a lot of OnePlus users root or install custom ROM on their phones. That is not possible on iQOO since the company doesn't allow it. So one from the community, iQOO should consider bootloader unlocking for their phones. Rest, you get 7 5G bands, plus you get 4G plus. I checked it with my Jio SIM, and all the important sensors. You get a 4700 mAh battery, which you can charge with 66 watt flash charge. Now, the iQOO Z6 Pro will be priced at 24,999, but with card discounts and all of that, it should come down to 23,999, something like that. Of course, if you have a card. That's like a very good pricing for the specs, but I have to use the phone for a bit for more practical usage, comparison with other smartphones to give a proper idea. But in my opinion, considering 2022 smartphone prices, I would say this is a really well-priced phone. Also, just in, you have the iQOO Z6 4G. So if you're looking for a 4G phone, this has 60Hz Full HD AMOLED display, you get Snapdragon 680, and it almost looks similar to the iQOO Z6 Pro, like almost similar, almost. You also get a 50 megapixel main sensor, a 5000 mAh battery, and 44 watt flash charge. Now, the phone has just arrived and I'm not sure of the pricing of it, but you know what? 4G versus 5G phone in 2022 under budget, that would be a good video. On that note, this is Prateek signing off. See you in the next video. Pew, pew, pew.